Hello, good morning and welcome. Destination Newry's live coverage of the count here at the Sports Centre in Newry. It's been a long night. People didn't get out of here until 1 o'clock, 1:30 this morning. Back again at 9 o'clock, and counting's continuing at Slieve Gullion, Crotleave, Slieve Croob and Newry just shortly begun. The tellers are continuing, not as many as there were of course yesterday, because we have most of the counting done. Today we'll wrap it up by early afternoon, we think. And there is a bit of a cliffhanger, maybe Damien you'll join me, a cliffhanger in Slieve Gullion. We're waiting for a final result here. What's the issue in Gullion at the moment? Damien is a pundit of politics in that area. He knows about these things. What's the issue?
No one about politics and anywhere around. It's obviously going down to the wire between, there's two candidates hanging in here at the end, which is Hughes and Loughlin, and Loughlin is ahead of Hughes, and so it's SDLP versus Sinn Féin right down to the wire. And the number crunchers sitting in the background, you know, they're all afraid to make it, because if transfers from one party comes in and takes their person a little bit up, then there's other transfers from one of the other candidates could do it. So it's so defined, and it could rake down to maybe a vote, maybe a half a vote, maybe a third, maybe a third of a vote. Yeah. You know, it's hard to call, but Rowan, it's local democracy, and it's you know, people say it's long and it's drawn out and all that, but it's probably the fairest way. You know, proportional representation. You know, it is like, you know, it's probably like the dehunt. It's fair. It's probably the only fairest way to do it. Like, you know,
it's the cold face of democracy, as you say, and this is what it's all about. When the person is canvassed, when the person decides, casts the vote, and then the votes are verified, and after verification the votes are counted.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, when it comes right down to when you're going right down to the third count, the fourth count, or the fifth count, you know, it gets very, very tight, and it gets so tight, people's going to make the call. You know, and you need to be the Enigma machine to sort that out. And I don't even think they can do it, you know.
Or a device not yet invented.
I think the simple answer to do is we sit back and we wait till they make the call on the stage, and then we're sure at that stage. But I know, like, I would say at this stage, Kate Loughlin would probably be the front runner. Just she would be, I suppose, a short head ahead.
They don't seem to be doing an awful lot. People at this stage, who's crunching the numbers? It's the returning officer.
Yeah, the numbers. The staff have counted what was transferred. They go into the corner and they have their machines out, the laptops, the calculators, and they do all the number crunching. And then they go to the likes of Tom, McCullough, Eddie, Curtis, and that. Well, Tom's really just he's just watching from a distance. Then they go back and they look at it, and it really does run. It goes right down to they're coming across at 0.2, 0.3 of a vote. So maybe, you know, it takes 4 or 5 votes to get a full vote, and I'm trying to explain that to somebody. There's no point. Just trust me. That's how it works. So it's very interesting.
You'll be with me throughout the morning, and we hope to garner more interviewees and bring the interviews to the people as the process unfolds, and we now approach the final lap, I suppose. It's fair enough to say.
Yeah, we will be getting another call here very, very shortly, and then it'll probably go. Then you'll go to the next count.
Yes.
So it's going right down to the wire.
Okay, so we'll sign off from you for the moment, and as soon as we know that we've got something else coming from, in particular, the Slieve Gullion area, we'll be coming back to you to see the white smoke or the grey smoke, to use your own phrase. This man is a man of many phrases. We talked football yesterday, and he was talking about a bumblebee in a jam jar as a description of how a fellow performs on the pitch. Conor Lavery was the person.
A
great indeed.
And good luck to Down the next.
But isn't it amazing how we can inject football and Down and good luck against Tyrone into the coverage of an election here in the very heart of Newry? So we will stay here. We'll go off and garner some folk for you, bring them back so that we can enhance for you, wherever you're viewing across the world, the whole experience of the count here in Newry. You were telling me of a man tweeting yesterday.
What
was that about? It was Finland. Greetings to Finland this morning, by the way.
So one of the candidates got elected last night, and he looked down, he got a phone message, and the phone message was, "Hey, I'm watching in Finland. Here's the connection. There's the Destination Newry's page contact." Yeah. He just started to laugh. Yeah. You know, so you know, it's been interesting, Rowan, because you know, at the end of the day, you know, we all love to slate our politicians and all that, but this is the local one, and this is where, you know, I suppose just you and me, this is where we see it happening, and this is the people that's going to be representing us for the next 4 to 5 years. And once you put your name on the ballot paper, you know, it's a hard slog, and it's tough. Yeah. And you know, it's good fun doing what we're doing, because we're not waiting on results.
Are you able to get your head around yet the notion of a little bit of Strangford, Rowan now being at the heart of Newry?
No, I'm not, because again, you know, I wouldn't be familiar with that whole area, but as one of the councillors said last night, from Saintfield to Cross McGlen, and I had to correct him, and I would say, well, it would be actually Saintfield to Cullaville, because Cullaville
even further west.
And he says, well, I'm learning my geography now, you know. Oh, well, look, it's going to be a huge, but the two councils have been working hand in hand this last while, trying to, you know, to join them, but, you know, it's going to be an interesting thing there. And I also have heard that the name isn't definitive yet. You know, the Newry Morning Down. You see, I come from South Armagh.
You're left out.
Well, yes,
there's no mention of you.
But you see, this is how there was a couple of names going around last night, and one of the names was Gullion and the land of Patrick. I don't think we could argue with that in any one way or the other.
It's a bit long-winded. Gullion and the land of Patrick.
Well, yeah, and then you could have Gullion, Newry, and Down.
Yep.
So,
Gullion, Newry, and Down. Yeah. You know, so are we seeing anyone there, or anything there that we ought to be doing before we sign off?
I'll go and get a councillor.
Say farewell to the people now.
Farewell, people.
And you're coming back with a newly elected councillor.
Yes, he was elected late last night after we left.
Okay. Go well. Take care. You're with the Destination Newry election 2014 special out of the Sports Centre here in the heart of Newry. Back with you presently. Right, we're going live to Eddie Curtis. Result coming for Slieve Gullion. Come with me here. I could.
Well, okay, what that has done now, Lochran is sitting on 1122, I think.
Yes.
Right, is that right?
Lochran,
1123.
I have Lochran at 1123.6.
Yeah, and Sinn Féin Q sitting at 1283.
1283.68.
So this is the first part of this count that he has actually leapfrogged the SDLP candidate. So what happens now? They go to Taylor's surplus. So then they
is Eddie able to talk to us there? No, he can't.
So they will be distributed between the two, right?
Yeah.
And depending on where they go, but it'll boil down, Rowan, trust me in this, it's going to boil down to Geraldine Donnelly's surplus to take home the last candidate.
And if Geraldine Donnelly surplus SDLP, then it would look as though it's going to go to Kate Lochran of the SDLP.
That would be the way it's looking at the minute, but I wouldn't want to call it that.
Well, let me just say that we have discovered a new psephologist here in the Sports Centre at the heart of Newry. Damien is here and telling us things that I couldn't even begin to understand. There's a bit of a scientist in you, able to do these mathematics and work it all out.
Well, you know, the mathematics, you know, they are quite difficult, and how they get them and where they come with these percentages and all that, and the percentage of a vote works in, and how many of these make a full vote. Remember, they don't come across as full votes, only come across as percentage vote. So it's very, very complicated. But again, you know, it's in the laps of the gods. It'll go to the final the final count, and as
Yeah.
Bob Seger used to say, the famous final scene is on the way shortly.
Yes,
For
it is
Slieve
indeed.
Gullion ward,
And we're looking over there at the
Yeah.
folk. Now, this is. Tell us what's going on here now at Slieve Gullion.
Yeah, they're counting away there.
Is that the distribution of Donnelly?
No, distribution
of Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it'll go to Donnelly. So it's.
It's we're still some distance away from an answer.
Yes, we are. We're probably about maybe another 40 minutes away from an answer. So I would assume now. I would assume probably in about 40 minutes the Slieve Gullion one. But it's going to be disappointing if whoever loses. You know, they will be disappointed. But they can be very proud of the contest they put up because they brought it to the wire and it's gone right down to the wire.
And it's bringing us into focus the precision of the system. It's a system that works.
It is a system that works, and you know it also proves another thing, how important a vote is.
Yeah.
You know, and it goes right down. And I suppose really what you should be doing is completing the ballot paper right down all through the candidates, because at this stage, at the final count, the final count, it's so important to be still in there.
Absolutely. The vote is of many constituent parts.
It is, you know, and you know the great thing about this is all the candidates, doesn't matter what persuasion they are, they're all very amicable and shake each other's hands after it and all that, and that's the beauty about it.
New council, Damien. New council, new name, new attitudes. Maybe there's a. Is it too much to hope for an era of possible peace in the council chambers?
Rowan, it's politics, but you know, hope is always in the air, and you know, no matter what happens, there's new councillors coming in, and obviously they will be making themselves known, and a lot of young people in at the minute. So I'm delighted with that, you know. So to me, it's the way forward. So who knows? Who knows? We're not complete yet, but we're nearly complete.
Damien McCullough, thank you very, very much indeed. You're with the Destination Newry election count here at the Sports Centre in Newry. Our special programme streaming to the world, and it's election 2014. We're off now to find out what's happening, bring you some more interviewees. Do stay with us. Back in a little while. Okay, you're back with me again. I've managed to catch up with Davy Hyland. How are you, Davy? Good morning to you. Well, you're keeping the Newry count not long started. You're keeping an eye on the building pile. You're an independent.
Independent, yeah.
A man who walks alone.
Walks alone.
But you're
no party machine.
No party machine. But I mean, you're doing all right.
We're doing reasonable. We're happy enough with the performance, because it is an uphill task when you're an independent and you're fighting the established parties. So you have to do everything on your own. You have to pay for your bills. You have to do all your canvassing on your own. But sometimes nice to have an independent where you can think independently and vote independently.
What were people saying to you, the independent, at the doorstep?
People were concerned about rates and value for money, and hoping that the amalgamation of the new councils won't be a burden on them. And they are concerned about employment and about prospects for young people, and also concerns about housing. Yes,
you're up against very established party people. You're very much on the back foot.
Well, no, we've been very positive so far. We've not been negative in our outlook. We've been positive, and we've gone to people and said that we are offering them honest, credible politics, and I think we're getting a good response as a result.
Well, the pile for you is beginning to grow. Yeah.
I think from what I can see at the moment, the three Sinn Féin candidates are doing very well.
Here we just break and listen into this. So they've reached the doubtable votes in Slieve Crub, and that means they're going in to check them and to agree between themselves.
Between the candidates,
those votes are doubtable.
You'd be surprised, Rowan, how still in this day and age, at least a couple of hundred people will probably make a mistake. Maybe sometimes it's not a mistake. Some people actually wrote on their ballot forms that they don't want to vote, are voting as a protest. Other people just put crosses against 3 or 4 more candidates, and as a result the vote is spoiled.
The vote is also down. Is that to your disadvantage? Because presumably whatever came out came out as a consequence of party machines bringing them out.
Yes, I have to say I'm disappointed in the turnout. In the last election 3 years ago, the turnout in Newry was 56%, reasonable enough for a local council election, but still down on previous. This one looks as it may go below the 50% mark, and to me that's a very, very worrying sign, because if less than 50% of people are voting, it means that the majority of people are voting with their feet and deciding not to give any mandate to the new council.
Have you thought about why that is?
I think there's a certain degree of apathy, there's a degree of frustration with what's going on in Stormont, the sort of ongoing battles between the two parties there, between DUP and Sinn Féin, and the fact that they haven't been able to agree on much of the ordinary concerns, the bread and butter issues for ordinary folk. So I think that is a warning shot to the local politicians, and I think they should take credence of it.
Okay, we wish you well, and
Thanks,
let you get back to your observation. You're a kind of a tally man now.
I'm a tally man.
He's a tally man.
And I'm on my own doing it.
Hey, Mr. Tallyman, tally your votes there. Good luck.
Thank you.
Go well, take care. That's Davy Hyland, away back to keep an eye on how he is doing. Newry being counted. Across the way in the other counting room here in the Sports Centre, we have the Slieve Crúb count going on, and the candidates have been invited in there to reach agreement on the votes which are spoiled or are doubtful. And once that's done, the real business of the day, the count for Slieve Crúb, will get underway. You're with Destination Newry's programme on the elections here in the heart of Newry in the Sports Centre. The count is ongoing. Slieve Gullion behind me, it's continuing right down to the wire. Percentage votes are coming into play. I don't even pretend to be wise enough to tell you what all that's about. But we'll keep it in the frame. We'll focus on it. And as soon as anything happens here, the merest hint of white smoke, we shall be back with you. I'm off now to bring you more interesting snippets of politics from the Count Centre in the heart of Newry. Stand by. Why not yet? Once I start talking, you come on. Right, we're back with you sooner than we had anticipated, because things are moving. The psephology science over there with behind me, the Slieve Gullion people, it's moving ever so slightly. And you've been investigating.
Yeah, what's happening, Rowan? The Taylor's transfers, yes, his transfers are now being distributed, and looking at what's going on there, a lot of them will be going to the SDLP. So they don't come across as a full vote, they come across as a percentage vote. So Taylor's access votes could be so crucial right at the death here, because I mean, you're right down to very fine figures here. So it could be ironic that the Unionists put in an SDLP in South Armagh.
Well, it's certainly more likely than to have the Unionists put in a Sinn Féin person.
Well, that would be what's happening, you know. So it's again, you know,
nail biting.
Well, nobody's going to make the call. I mean, it's the beauty of PR.
Yeah.
You know.
And who eventually will make that call?
Oh, well, the presiding officer makes it. I mean, as you seen earlier on, they sit up in the corner, they get all the figures up, and then they go up onto the stage, and then they make the call. So it'll go to the final count. That's for sure. Okay. It'll go for the final count, because I think Kate Loughran's about 100 behind Hughes at this stage. But with the transfers from Taylor and then with Danley's access, it could pull Kate Loughran over the line.
Okay.
That's my look on it, but I may be wrong.
I think it's the best take on it I've heard so far. It makes a lot of sense.
But I mean, it could come back and bite me. I don't know, but it's just, you know, it's going to be so sad for the loser, because they've both put so much effort into it, like, you know, and nobody's making the call.
Normally we see you in the world of sport and football. Who are you coming down if you had to make the choice, football or politics?
Oh, football all the time. It's easier. It's easier.
Football all the time, that's it. There's no doubt about that in the man's mind. We're off now to meet the people, meet the candidates, meet the tally people. Back with you presently. Welcome back onto the floor of the Count Centre here at the Sports Centre in Newry. Damien McCullough, you've been out meeting the folk, talking to the tally people. You're looking over the fence. This is palpable in its excitement.
Yes, it is, Rowan, because the candidates are holding their breath, and the tally men are munching the figures, and
there's a fellow over there scratching his chin.
Well, but they're afraid to make the call. It is just, it's so close, it's unbelievable. This is going to be one of the greatest battles in, I suppose, local history here for the last seat between Sinn Féin and the SDLP. It's going right to the wire. I've never seen anything like it. And two new candidates too, you know, and two neighbours.
Yeah, neighbours.
Two neighbours
across the road from each
well,
other.
more or less, like, you know.
So what has your latest foray into the area of enthusiasm out there told you?
It's too close to call.
Too close to call still?
Still too close to call.
And the process that's happening
now
is
what happens now, Taylor's access goes across, but they only come across a percentage of a vote. So, like, it might take 10 votes to make one real vote, or 8 votes to make a vote, whatever the percentage is, and they'll call that out. So I think most of them is probably going to go to Lochran, and then my reading of it is that there's still going to be maybe 60, maybe 50 between them, and then Donnelly's comes down. So it's just so close.
You know, this is where it's been counted behind us here, in this corral.
Yes, this corral.
But it seems as though the counters have done their job. There's nobody counting at the moment.
The counters have done their job. They've gone over to the people in the corner where they're doing all the magical stuff, where they get up all the percentages and all that. That's done as far as I know, and I think the information will be going up to the stage very, very shortly. The counting's done, and they're just waiting now for that call. It's too close one.
And we know now why there's such an enthusiastic roar of applause when a victor is announced in this kind of situation.
There will be a huge call here. There'll be a huge shout here when this goes up, because the Sinn Féin ones say we're a team. We haven't celebrated yet because it's a team. Kate's coming in here, our first time. Kate's a very popular woman from Camla, and whoever wins it, they'll be so enthusiastic. And you know, I thought for whoever's going to lose it, because it's going to be soul destroying for them.
Soul destroying,
but
indeed.
Rowan, you know, it's. I mean, in a football match, this is as good as it gets.
Right, absolutely. I see Charlie Casey. Would Charlie come and join us?
I'll get Charlie.
Ask him to come along and join us now. So we hope to bring you Charlie Casey and get a direct Sinn Féin response to the tightness of the contest here where we are. Charlie, how are you? I'm very well. It's this is democracy at its very, very best.
Oh, well, the people have spoken, and we'll see the outcome of that now very soon.
Yeah, you're looking at Newry. Newry's developing just quietly. It's coming along nicely.
Well, we're getting there with city status, as you know, a number of years ago, and we're starting to look like a city now.
Yes,
and
we are.
The council is playing its part with our new leisure centre, wet and dry centre, and we're going to have a new medical facility here as well, hopefully, and it's sited in Newry, which will employ 600 people. Isn't it great?
You're standing here now. We haven't yet. Have we done the verifiable votes yet for Newry?
No.
That'll happen, and then you will be called in with the other candidates to agree.
To agree that maybe there's someone has an X beside a name as opposed to a 1, and we'll determine whether it's reasonable attempted voting or not.
When would you think Newry will be called?
Well, I would imagine past history has shown maybe an hour from now.
It could be
an hour from now, you'll know who the first people are over the line.
Well, you're holding your breath in relation to Gullion.
Well, I was here last night, rather this morning at 20 to 1 when there was a bit of a hiccup, so they decided to call the process off. But they've ironed that problem out, and they're still working on it, and it's down to the wire for the last
Sinn Féin, neighbours' children.
Neighbours' children, yeah.
Sinn Féin and the SDLP.
Oh, well, you know, let's work together. That's our party. I go over like Caleb.
A new element of working together. You've got to get your head around in the new council of having Strangford almost in with you, Rowan.
It'll be a big challenge, and we know that there will be difficulties facing us, and it'll take a number of years for the council to bed in. But we're confident. You know, our party's confident that we will make a good contribution to for citizens from Colleville to Strangford.
Well done.
Thank you.
Wish you well. We'll talk to you later, Charlie.
Take care.
Charlie Casey there, bringing us the Sinn Féin point of view. We'll, in particular, in relation to the contest that's going on behind me in Slieve Gullion. As Damien has told us, right down to the wire there. Shortly, we hope to get the SDLP view on that close contact contest that is occurring. We'll be back with you presently. Yeah, now we're back again. We're chittling and chattling here and over there. Kind of the doyen of the SDLP in these parts, Michael Carr. Michael, it's a very close contest behind us in Slieve Gullion. Sinn Féin and the SDLP running it right down to the wire. What's your gut telling you? What are the figures telling you more than anything else?
Well, just like you say, Rowan, it is very, very tight. And I was just looking at the numbers there. Dara Hughes slightly ahead at the moment of Kate Loughren. Dara, of course, sitting councillor at the moment. Kate's coming in, run a great campaign, and should be a great asset to the new council as well. But it's that close. I don't think anybody would be calling it.
How far away are we at the moment from a decision on it?
Well, David Taylor, I congratulate David in getting re-elected. His transfers are coming across now, and then the final act in this constituency would be to transfer Geraldine Donnelly's excess. So it's really going to go down to the wire.
In your own area, Crontleave, what are you seeing building there?
Well, we ran 4 candidates in a 6-seater, so we're pretty. They're coming in. We'll wait anxiously till we get the first official numbers coming out. That's very important. We can guesstimate and estimate, but it's not until you see it up on the board that it counts, you know.
This, of course, is the hub of democracy, if you like. This is where it really matters. This is what it's about. Yeah. We can do anything we want to do outside of here, but this is the beginning, the middle, and the end of it all.
Well, this is it. This is where the people speak. Yeah. And you know, and we've got to listen. I am disappointed, terribly disappointed in Warrenpoint that less than 50% of the people come out to vote.
Absolutely. Damien, have you anything else for us there? You know Damien, of course.
How's it going, Mike?
Thanks, sir.
No. It's so tight here at the minute, you know, and there's it could now it may not, but the unionists transfers could pull. One of them over, and that looks to be they would favour Kate Loughren, but it's still too close. Look. There's millimetres between them at this stage. So, Michael, you're at this a long time. Would you make the call?
Calling.
No, I wouldn't call.
Under no circumstance.
No. You know, and then somebody says, you know, but I said, is this not politics working correctly?
Very much so. The people speak is what you said.
Absolutely,
yeah. But remember, George took the famous American, well, not say what he said.
But you were saying moments ago, Michael, that you're disappointed in under 50% in Warrenpoint.
Yes.
Why has that been the case?
Well, I think it's a lot of apathy, and I think maybe we're all getting tired with the same brush as people are looking at, or people are certainly saying that it's not working at the highest level up in the Assembly, that it's become stagnant. The two parties are feeding off each other, two main parties, and sometimes you would knock at the door and people say, actually, they're all the same. Yeah. When we're not all the same, it's a different level, it's a different activity. And this is more ground level stuff at council election.
But at the same time, the main players reflect the main players at Stormont. The Sinn Féin people and the DUP, they seem to be succeeding and have the power balance.
Well, at the moment, yes, at the moment. And when we get in there, I mean, the new council will give us new opportunities. An awful lot more threats as well, but new opportunities, and we'll see, because it's the first level that people see politics working, if you like, and we, in our own communities, and it's the big issues. You know, people say you do nothing, only empty bins, bury the dead and so on, but they're important things.
They are.
You know what I mean?
And your powers are extending. You've now got, planning is devolving to you.
Planning and community development and so on, and those are big issues. And I think, you would know yourself, I've had some real issues with planners in the past. I would like to think that this move will help not convinced of it yet, because we still have to rely on the professional people. So it's all about planning and the community planning. If you have the right plan, then you can stick to it. But it's a question of agreeing that right plan.
Things have changed a lot since you last stood in a counting centre when you succeeded at the last election. What are the main differences you see now as you look back over the years of the last council?
Well, I suppose the last election was 2011.
Have we made progress?
Have we made progress? Well, in Newry, a lot of good things have happened. They've eventually started the swimming pool and the development and so on. We achieved a 0% increase in our rates this year, and I can tell you that was a big achievement, because this new setup is going to cost a lot of money. Already this year we've had all the arguments and debates about what we should be doing with our council chamber. We're spending 400,000 on that. There were other costs associated with it of 875,000, in total over 1.2 million, and we still achieved a 0% increase in our rates. Okay. So my focus again will be to be prudent with our money, because this whole setup could run away with us very quickly. And the end payer would be the rate payer. But but optimistically looking forward, and hopefully we can get in there. We have to get elected yet.
I see a fellow there who might bring us. What news from the Rialto, sir?
Well, I was talking to Pat McNamee there, an old hand as well, Michael, and Pat says, lads, if I was used, I would go and get a cup of tea. Because, everybody's sitting there, Michael, and they're looking at all the permutations, and every permutation is different.
That's correct.
So there's movement here now, so they're heading up. So we're definitely
up. Are we seeing people moving up now?
Well, yes, we're going to get a. They're probably waiting for a cup of tea, so we're going to get a call, Michael.
I hope the match isn't as close tonight.
Well, I suppose if the match is as close tonight and you get the result, you'll be happy enough.
Right,
good luck tonight. I hope you enjoy it.
Well, you've got a handshake here and two smiling faces in the world, in the citadel of the cauldron of politics here at the Sports Centre in Newry, with Destination Newry's live coverage of the elections 2014. Back with you presently.
This is the result of Stage 6 on the State Guardian poll. At the conclusion of Stage 6, on the distribution of David Taylor's surplus at a value of 1, Kate Loughran received 125,125 papers at a total value of 125, which gives her a new total of 1,248.65. Non-transferable papers was 228,228 at a value of 79.24, which is a total of 114.67, 114.67. The decision, the recommendation at this stage is to go to Stage 7 and transfer the surplus of Geraldine Donnelly's. The surplus total is 121,121. If everybody's satisfied, we'll move to the next stage, which is Stage 7. Thank you.
Pardon? Take your time. Standing by. Right, welcome back. Damien McCullough is with me. We're proceeding to the 7th stage of the Slieveguillion count. Would you like to analyse that for us?
Well, all the unionists, whatever unionist votes went across, all went to Lochran there, right?
Yeah.
So that was for sure. But now what happens, Rowan? Hugh is 35 ahead, full votes ahead of Lochran at this stage. So,
Yes.
so Donnelly's access comes down. She is 122. Now, it absolutely depends on what percentage these come down. If they don't come down as full votes, so it's going to, I mean, it's right to the wire. Again, we just can't make the call. We don't know.
Nothing is developing as a consequence of the new total for Kate Lochran of 1248.65.
Yeah, but Kate went up. Kate went up. She
She
went
did.
up.
She went up.
She went up from the other one. No, see, she went
Yep.
up the other one. So there's only 35 votes between them.
Yeah,
And
they're now, stage 7 is
yes,
Geraldine Donnelly's surplus.
yes, so they will be distributed, but they will be distributed as a percentage, whatever the percentage will be. So it could be 0.2, 0.1, 0.3, whatever. It's not 0.1, but 0.3 of a vote or whatever. And depending, even some of them could possibly go to Hughes, or possibly some of them, you just don't know. You just don't know. So it's going to the wire on, and we probably anticipated this at the very, very start of this.
Yeah. And that's the phrase of today that we've been using constantly, going to the wire.
Well, the tally men won't make the call. Both sides,
Yeah.
they're afraid to make the call. I just feel at this stage it's going to be so disappointing for the loser.
Yes, of
whether it's
course.
Kate or Darry, it's but
That's politics for you.
Yeah, that's the
politics.
politics. And
So a timeline for this now.
probably about another 40 minutes.
40
the way
minutes
it's
still,
going.
yeah, the way it's going.
But
We're creeping along towards resolution of the conflict, of the battle between the two. As we say, neighbours' children.
neighbours' children's
Out
against
in-
each other,
out
so
there in South Armagh.
and it would be even our club members would be, there'd be a huge connection to our
Yes.
club as well, the Lochran. So again, pulling the football into the election here, Rowan, but there's not even the width of a page between it, it's just laser thin.
Laser thin, you heard it from Damien McCullough here. The only man I know who can bring football enthusiasm to the reporting of the 7th count at an election here in the heart of Newry. Well done, sir. Back with you presently. Back again, another political interviewee, a man of Stormont, Sean Rogers of the SDLP. Sean, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rowan. How are you?
Very well. It was long and late last night.
It was a long, I think Moran must have the record. It took almost 12 hours until we got to the end at 1:30 this morning.
Were you pleased with the way things went?
I was well pleased. We had Laura Devlin came second to Henry Riley, and she had quite a considerable surplus, and that had to bring Brian Quinn in as well. So in the Morans we have 2 SDLP, 2 Sinn Féin, 1 DUP, 1 UKIP, and 1 Ulster Unionist.
Okay, and it's a battle right down to the wire here behind us for Slieveguillion, the SDLP and the Sinn Féin people.
Yeah, and I would be hopeful that the second candidate will get in.
It's beginning to look that way.
Yeah, I would be hopeful, and I'm particularly delighted for Geraldine Donnelly that she will have a colleague, and maybe a female colleague, because I've known Geraldine for many years on the council and does a great Trojan bit of work there. So I'd be delighted if we put in a second person there.
The count, the turnout low, 50% and under.
Yeah, it is very, very disappointing. Not alone for the canvassing you do, but for the work you do in the constituent's office, or the work you do as a councillor. I just feel, I think very much that a councillor's role is very, very undervalued, and they don't see the work they do. Whether it's helping people. My philosophy about politics and about local politics is really about helping people along the road, whether that's somebody looking to help them with planning or housing situation or benefits situation or whatever. Just giving that wee bit of advice or that wee bit of wisdom, and it is disappointing to think that every 1 and 2 maybe vote.
Yeah. Michael Carr was saying earlier that the finger was being pointed at Stormont, that the intransigence or perceived intransigence of Stormont was filtering through to attitude.
I would tend to agree, and to some extent the only thing that makes the news from Stormont is the bad news. Yeah. Even things like the Giro Italia got a wee bit of good media at times and whatever, but it's always the bad news, whether it's last week about Cardice or whatever else. And that frustration is getting through to people on the doors, and people just believe that nothing is happening.
Now we have a short, over your shoulder, but don't go away, we have a short, there's an exodus occurring there of the tally people, the count people going out. I wonder where they're going. We'll have to find out about that.
Well, I'm sure they're going for their tea. And
that could be their tea.
And I suppose at this stage too, when I have the opportunity, I would have to acknowledge the very professional staff of Newry and Mourne and Down Council for the work they do here. To see people at 1:30 in the morning and they're back again now.
It's actually interesting that it's the first time. Oh, thank you. Stay with me on this. So what they're doing there now is the candidates are coming together from Newry to agree the votes. Is that it?
It's to agree votes that maybe weren't properly.
Yes.
And the returning officer or Robert will have suggestions of whether the vote should be accepted or not. It's really to be agreed among the voter.
When it's agreed, then the real count
starts. It's very interesting to look here at some of the. Never mind the transfers, which seem to be, sometimes you wonder is really cooperation is a lot better. You might see one Sinn Féin, 2 DUP, or one SDLP, 2 UKIP, or vice versa. But I think the other thing you notice, despite everything about this being PR, you're still getting people putting an axe across. You're getting some people who put a 1 in every box, and so on. As well as obviously the odd spoil vote.
Okay, things go on, politics continue at Stormont. How are things going for you there?
Always a challenge, Rowan. A big challenge at all times, but still very, very enjoyable.
There's a commonality between your politics and your teaching career. You were the headmaster down at St. Louis.
Absolutely. And say the thing, maybe I'd realised this when I was ill. When I had an emptiness in myself, the lack of fulfilment. And what gives me the buzz now is actually the fulfilment. Again, a different sort of fulfilment from the classroom, but a fulfilment that just keeps that adrenaline rush. Like home at 3 o'clock this morning, at 8 o'clock I couldn't sleep again because I wanted to come and support my colleagues and see how they're getting on.
We'll let you get on with that.
All right.
Good luck. Take care. Thank you. Sean Rogers. You go well, sir. Take care. God bless you. All right. That's Sean Rogers leaving us there. Thank you for those words. The cluster in the corner, there they are, the candidates and their agents from the Newry zone, and they are examining the papers that are thought to have been spoiled. Unanimity will be achieved there, and then the real count for Newry begins. This is a necessary part of the process. Those votes that have been either intentionally or inadvertently spoiled will be identified now and dealt with. Back with you shortly. I'm working with
because the way you have to sit in them, though, to actually work, you can't sit back and lie.
You've done your best.
I only broke 3 months.
Oh, sir. Well, it'll happen. Leap always forwards, men.
Go.
Go and get his coffee. Mickey. God bless you, Mickey. That's bad. Right, I'm joined now by Conor McCreevy of the SDLP. Crutleave's been counted as we speak.
It is, Rowan. Nerves are going at this stage now. It's hard to predict how it's going to go, but our tallies from yesterday would say that it's going to be down to the wire for the last seat, and that's really what we were predicting before even the election began. Obviously in Trevor, you had a strong independent running, and people will vote that way, and it's the right thing to do. That's really where the transfers go now.
Yeah. What is your deep heart, your deep political heart, telling you?
If you go by the tallies, you'd be saying there's going to be 3 Sinn Féin and 3 SDLP. So it's really a fight, as I say, for the last couple of seats.
Are you in among the 3?
I'm in among the 3.
That's good, because the people would recognise you as a young, progressive councillor.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that now because we're outside the pre-election phase, and we can make that general observation. You've brought a freshness to the chamber.
Yeah.
And isn't it ironic that someone who brings a freshness and a youthfulness to the chamber finds himself on tenterhooks now?
Yeah, somewhat is, yeah. I mean, I had a lot of stuff going against me too. The boundaries shifted, so I lost 40% of my vote last time. And also I took the 7th seat, and now there's only 6 seats, so those things have went against me. But you're right, I've tried to be progressive. I've reached across all boundaries and communities and tried to represent the people as best I can. And I hope I do achieve the vote to get back in again. But as I say, I was always up against it. But I'll continue doing the best I can for the community.
It went to the wire for you the last time too. You had to wait.
I did, so that's why maybe I'm a bit more relaxed than some of my political opponents here today. So I'm used to it, as you say, and you can't change it now, But I think you could be talking here about tens of votes, maybe 60 votes.
You're the wider council area now, the new geographic area. What opportunities does that provide for council?
Well, the new council is going to be fascinating. It's going to be very interesting with new powers and things like that. Nobody's going to have a majority, which we predicted also. And that's good because we need to get the power sharing working right and the arrangements sitting right. And we talked about it on your show before the election, about how the councils need to work in the smaller, the DEAs. Councillors are going to have to sit down and agree within their own pocket district electoral areas. What I will say is that it's actually been quite a good election for the SDLP. Our tallies, our candidates that we ran, we look like we're going to take the 2nd seat now in Slieve Gulliam, so we've increased there. The Mourns, we've done well, we ran 2, we're getting 2. Down Patrick, we ran 3, we've got 3, so everything's been pretty good for the SDLP so far. And this new council, hopefully there's a good, strong SDLP ethos throughout it.
And of course the vote is down this time. It's under 50% of the electorate chose to show faith in their politicians.
The vote is down, Rowan. I think that's one of the most disappointing things, because to stand for election, any candidate for any party or no party, it takes bravery, it takes courage. You're standing up there, you want to do best for your community, and then to only get that low turnout is very disappointing for everyone. It would be nice if we had some way of getting people to come out. There's faith in politics maybe is declining. We need to find a new way of getting people to come out and support what's happening in their communities, because a lot can be achieved and a lot is achieved.
Well, Conor McCreevy, we wish you well in your efforts to be part of that achieving for the community in the future. A Crutleave announcement, when would you think?
Probably first preference in the next half hour.
In the next half hour. Damien, have you? Damien has been out and about garnering things there.
How are you? I didn't think you were tall, hey?
Oh yes, he's a big fellow.
He'd make a quite full forward, wouldn't he? Them days are past.
We're trying to get this fellow away from football. I asked him earlier whether he preferred football or politics, and he said, football.
Well, a wise man said to me earlier on, go and get a cup of tea and settle yourself. So I went and got my cup of tea, and
it's still there.
A tea bag in a string, brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the Slieve Gulliam one, Rowan, is going to the wire, and again, it's too close to call.
Well, it must be coming close now.
It's coming close, and if I was a betting man, I'd be saying to Paddy Parr, what's the draw?
Wow, that's
not happening.
I think it's going Sinn Féin, or it's going SDLP way at the moment.
All the indications are, it obviously depends on Donnelly's transfers, and then what happens after that. If Lochran from the SDLP is far enough ahead from cues from Sinn Féin, the betting money, I would say Conor would probably be on Lochran, but it's PR, Rowan, and there's no guarantee.
No guarantee.
There's no guarantees in an election. It just shows you every vote does count, and the numbers, the preferences, 2s, 3s and 4s all count whenever it comes down to it. It is going down to the wire between Dara Hughes and Kate Loughran, but my money would be on Kate Loughran.
And in the Newry count, they've agreed the valid poll, and they're now counting for proper. They'll be doing
I would say there will be a fight for the last place in Newry. I would predict that the Sinn Féin will get their 3 in fairly quickly. Highland probably, and then
Highland's a popular fellow.
Well, he is. He gets a popular vote, and he's been about a long time. So I would say he'd be. It's not Jackie Patterson has stepped down, so Davy will probably come in, and I don't know, Conor, about where the SDLPs will come in. I don't know. I haven't seen.
It's hard to predict. I think we're going to get 2, but I think that third one is still going to be a fight between Davy Highland and one of ours.
Yeah, well, it's going to be, it's going to go down to the wire. And it depends, obviously, then transfers, Rowan, because you have to emphasise the importance of the transfers coming right down to the bottom end of the count. I mean, we're down here to the 7th count, and it may even go one step more, depending on how they've come across. So the betting money's probably on Loughran at the minute. Over in Newry, well, we haven't digested that one yet, but we'll do that in a minute or two.
But I have to say that I'm with 2 men here who know the answers. I have to say, in my own credit, I'm beginning to know the questions, and that's a learning curve for me here in this maelstrom of political life, the hub of democracy here at election 2014 in the Sports Centre counting centre in the heart of Newry. We wish you well. Be back to you shortly.
Good morning. I would now like to take the opportunity of giving you the result of the first stage of the count of Slieve Group PEA. The total ballot papers counted was 7,031. 7031. The total number of ballot papers rejected was 125. Therefore, the number of valid ballot papers is 6906. Therefore, the quota is 1,152. The percentage poll was 50.44. The number of first preference votes for each candidate is as follows. Burns Stephen, Sinn Féin, 1,303. Audrey Byrne, SDLP, 514. Clark Patrick Alliance, 690. Craig Garth DUP, 1,021. King Shane SDLP, 418. Lewis Allen UKIP, 407. Morrison Matthew, NI21, 111. Murnian Mark, SDLP, 784. O'Grimmon Paul, Sinn Féin, 940. Patterson Desmond, UUP, 718. As a result, the following candidate has been deemed elected: Stephen Burns. The following is a recommendation. In addition, the current vote of Morrison is 111. When added to the surplus of Burns is 151. This still would not bring Morrison above the total of the next lowest candidate, Lewis. Therefore, I propose to exclude Morrison at this stage and transfer the surplus as he would do. This is a recommendation.
Thank Okay, come to me. Come back when you're ready. Yeah, Sinn Féin contentment and some rejoicing over there. They've done very well. Right away in Slieve Croob, 5 seats been fought for there. Stephen Burns of Sinn Féin elected with 1342 votes. 1342. Stephen Burns, Sinn Féin, deemed elected in Slieve Croob. The other votes were there. Audrey Byrne of the SDLP, 514. 514 in Slieve Croob. So in 2 minutes' time, the first results for Newry. I'll continue here now. Patrick Clark of the Alliance Party in Croob, 690 votes. Garth Craig of the DUP, 1,021 votes. Shane King of the SDLP, 418 votes. Alan Lewis of UKIP, 407. Matthew Morrison of NI21, 111. Mark Murnan, SDLP, 784. O'Gribben Poole, he's Sinn Féin, 940. Desmond Patterson of the Ulster Unionist Party, 718. So with Sinn Féin there, with O'Gribben, 940, and who else? You will. I'm just looking here, the 940 he has, the quota 1,152. Likelihood is you'll have another Sinn Féin in here on the distribution of the votes of Burns, who has done well. Now, hello, sir.
How are you?
Are you Stephen? You've done well. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you cracked it immediately.
No
Had you expected it to be that rich and that quick?
No, we were just hoping to get both candidates in, and that's still the plan.
The second fellow will get in surely, because your distribution, he's at 900. What is he? He's 940 there, Paul O'Gribben, and the quota sits at 1,152.
Yeah, we're very confident he'll get in. We're confident all the time that we would return the two, but you don't count your chickens before the house.
No, indeed. What's the nature of the area, Croob, that you're representing, and what are the issues?
Extremely rural issues, and a very, very rural issue, a very rural constituency. So for us, it's about getting down and into the work now. I'm Castlewell myself, so I'm slightly more urban than Paul, but Paul's a Leitrim, and he's got all the issues with the farmers, the cap reform, the issue of the National Park passed through the last time with ourselves. And for me, it's community stuff, sports clubs.
Where are you on the National Park?
Well, we Sinn Féin have always had the position of the National Park, and we reaffirmed it last year that we'll not enforce any National Park against anybody if they don't want it. And the people have come out and said they don't want it in Newry, they don't want it in Mourne area, and we'll certainly not be pushing it on anybody.
Okay. Now the distribution of other votes is occurring at the moment. Maybe the next that'll get him in, will it? You think?
Yeah, well, I'm very confident. Hopefully, I'll be able to drag him over the line. But if not, he'll certainly get over the line with that first preference vote.
Thank you very much indeed for talking with us, and we wish you good luck in all that you're doing within the Slieve Croob constituency. Stephen Burns, thank you. Not at all. Go well. Take care. Stephen Burns of Sinn Féin, elected on the first count, straight in, with 1,342 votes, and his excess votes, those he didn't need, votes above the quota, likely to pull in his colleague Paul O'Gribben. Now, Newry.
The quota therefore is 1,103. The results are as follows. Casey, 1693. Dublin, 555, 555. Hart, 1,300. Ireland, 1,045. Kevins, 1,560. 629, 629. McAvoy, 664. Stokes, 938, 938. There are on to the first stage. The following are being elected: Casey, Hart, and Clemens.
You try and get him. So Sinn Féin, major success there. Casey elected.
We intend to transfer that high service, which is a service of Casey, which is 590. Thank you.
Who's going now, Rowan?
Yeah, you're going well. We're head in hand. Now Charlie's coming down. Are we getting him there? He's coming back. The actual quota here, if we can find it, 1,103. The quota there for Newry. Sinn Féin in 1, that's Casey. He's in Sinn Féin in 2, that's Valerie Hart. Davy Hyland doing well there, he's 1,045. Problematic there for the SDLP. Very, very poor showing in Newry for the SDLP. McAteer, Kevin McAteer, SDLP 629. Peter McAvoy 664, and Gary Stokes 938. If of all the SDLP people, it could be Stokes who will be brought back in again. Is Charlie joining us there? Oh, they're in the middle of their photographs there. Wow, well, that's almost a sweep the boards there by Sinn Féin. Have you got the details there?
Yeah, the Sinn Féin, yeah, they would have...
Burns 1342, yes.
Yeah, you see, like, so, Casey and Kimmins and...
Casey, Kimmins, and Hart.
You know, they would have been very quietly confident that they would have been taking them in the first count, and their vote management was excellent. And I mean, when you look at the size of the vote there, you would be saying that extremely well done. And Sinn Féin would be very.
What did Kimmins get? What was Kimmins' vote there? Did you get it? I missed that
6, 7,
one. So the three of them are in at the first.
Oh yeah.
At the first count. There is a story in the SDLP. They've done abysmally in Newry.
Well, they've run 4 candidates, you know, and the question has to be asked, Rowan. Maybe 3 would have been sufficient, you know. I know Gary Stokes. He's polled more than any of them.
Well, so Gary would, with the quota sitting at just over the 1,103. Gary would be there with a chance, I would have thought.
Yeah, he's looking like that. So he's looking good, but it has to be said the story for Newry is the Sinn Féin. And the SDLP probably will get Stokes in, and one of the others. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's too difficult to know.
Yeah.
The Casey family up there, we've got them in the shot now. Lots of happiness there, and rejoicing at the victory of Charlie Casey. Very much a man out there on the ground with the people. There's Katrina. Katrina, how are you? Would you join us for a moment?
I
Rowan?
will.
It's lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see you
You're
too.
entitled to the smile that's on your face at the moment.
It's been a busy few days.
Yes. Newry has gone tremendously well for you.
Newry's gone very well, and I think what's good for what I think is really important is we've got the mixture of age and experience. We also have women elected, and I think that's really, really good. It's sending a very strong message.
And of course it's an election to a new council area, and that brings new possibilities.
Absolutely. I've just come from one room sleeve crew, and I've come from another. It's fantastic. So
new life and
new life. And yesterday we were working on the elections in the south.
I haven't had a chance to catch up in the south. How are things going
well,
there?
The results obviously are a day behind.
Yes.
But it looks like we're doing really well, and it looks like we're set to take 3 of the 3 European seats. So that'll be 4 on the island of Ireland.
Yeah.
And we're polling well in councils. And I have a sister in Castlebar standing, so I'm waiting to hear her result as well.
To make the day complete.
Yeah,
It'll be
exactly.
Absolutely wonderful. Good luck and thanks for talking to us. You're a happy woman. Take care. Go well. Go well. Definitely a happy lady.
As he said, the island of Ireland. I would be saying the islands of Ireland, Rowan, because we can't forget the islands. You know,
the islands.
I was going to to say it to Katrina, but I wouldn't.
No, not at this stage.
No. So there's Liz.
Who have we got?
Well, there's Liz.
And
there's Sinead.
Yes, Liz, maybe talk. Liz, maybe talk.
Rowan, how
Well
you doing?
done, for goodness sake.
Thanks very much.
How's your
Brilliant
first time
crack.
and you're a young
That's it,
politician.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Lots of success. So what clinched it for you so quickly and so magnificently?
Well, we put the work in, Rowan, so I think that's it's paid off. You know, we have this past 6-7 months. We have been constant out on the doors, talking to the people, letting them know what we're about, and I think that just shows you it really has paid off.
It's a strong body of Sinn Féin now in the Newry Council.
Yeah.
In the new, I was in the Newry Council,
Well,
the
the
Newry
new council,
area of
yeah.
the new council.
So, well, that's it. We'll be strong, and we'll be there to work for the people. So,
Future
looking forward
vision.
to getting started.
Wow, good luck to you.
All
Take
right,
care.
thanks very much.
Liz, you got a fantastic first preference yourself. Nearly
Yeah.
over 1,500 votes.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. Can't believe it.
Had you really
know.
thought you might have had to fight a little bit, that it would have taken long?
Oh God, yeah. You know, we've got a lot of people there,
We'll
long-standing
move over here, a wee
councillors.
bit of chaps coming through there.
We've a lot to live up to, you know, in terms of our predecessors in the council, and also the other parties there. You know, all great councillors and great candidates. So.
Yeah.
It has been a battle, but...
Declan, will you join us for a word? Declan
yes.
McCullough, SDLP. Do you want to congratulate her? She's
I
done
will
so
indeed.
Thanks
well
very
done,
much,
Liz.
Declan.
Yes.
And best of luck yourself.
Yeah,
Thank you
but it's a
very
sad
much.
enough story so far for the SDLP in Newry.
Is it?
Why? The figures are there telling
no,
us.
but there's
Kevin
a lot of facts for it.
McAteer, have they got your name wrong there, Kevin McAteer? No, not 629 for the SDLP McAteer. Peter McAvoy 664. Gary Stokes at 938.
Right.
Not a lot short of the quota. He
No.
may pull it through.
No, but don't forget there's the single transferable system, and there's no other Sinn Féin people really to
No,
get elected in
that's
Newry.
it.
So I would expect that quite a number of the SDLP will get a lot of those votes, right?
So it's coming to you on the
I
transfer.
would say so. I would say that's what the PR thinks
Yeah.
this was about.
You old psephologist,
Hang about,
you know
hang-
about these things.
Yeah, well, I'm always an optimist as well.
Sure, now your glass is half full, without a doubt. Well, you
What
good
is it?
luck too.
I did.
indeed.
All the
You're
best.
working together if you
That's
vote,
good.
if it goes the right way.
Well,
for you.
indeed.
That's
Well,
it. And we have been
always work
already.
together.
Good luck. Take
All
care.
right,
All the
Rowan.
best. Take care. So there we are, Sean. At the moment, we're still looking out for Charlie Casey, but he's immersed in a throng of photographers up there, surrounded glowingly by his family. Everyone proud. Mickey is there as well. Mickey Brady there. The Sinn Féin family grows and grows here at the Sports Centre in Newry. Newry is, it would seem for the moment, theirs. We'll be back to you presently with Charlie Casey. We hope we can do that. Take a break for now from the Sports Centre. When you meet me again here, I'll have Charlie Casey with me, I hope. That's it for now. Just about to join us here at the... Charlie, congratulations to you. You're the wise old owl of the party here in Newry.
wise
and
old
you're,
owl,
you're
yeah.
You're guiding the youngsters on, those who have succeeded.
Well, I mean, that's history made. First time in Newry that three Sinn Féin candidates crossed the line all together.
And on the
We've made a
first
bit of
count.
history. And on the first, that's what I'm saying, on the first count. And
Your vote was magnificent. You got 1693.
yeah, well, I mean, that's just, I'm sure, a mark of the work that I've done and the party has been doing over the last number of years since the last election.
But people know Casey, they know of you as a person. Whether you could be standing for the Timbuktu party and they'd still vote
Well, I'm
for
born and
Charlie
reared,
Casey.
born and reared local fella, and I'm rooted in the community. You know, always been involved in community activism this last 20, 25, 30 years. So, and people know and respect me and the work I do, and
Charlie,
it's a party vote.
It's now a new and a white. Hello, look at this. Do you want to lift her up there? This lady. Who have we got?
Granddaughter. that's
Hello,
the youngest
granddaughter. How are you? You want him to go back and get more votes, maybe? Give him a hug.
Give me a hug.
Hey, a hug for Grandad. There you are. But it's now a chance. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You're the most important person talking.
Of course.
There we are. But you now have a wider family, you have a wider community to serve, all the way from Strangford through to Cullabille.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I spoke to you earlier on this morning. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but we're up for it.
Yeah.
And I will ensure that Newry City gets its fair crack of the whip.
What do you yeah, go ahead.
We're going we're legislating from 98,000 people to 177,000 now, so we have to, make sure First Liz.
Nice to see you, and congratulations
Thank
to
you very
It's
much,
gone so
Rowan.
well.
Thank
The
you.
three together, look at that.
Charlie's Angels.
I have to say, no, I'd rather say, blessed are you among women. Well done to you. How did
Thank you very much.
surprise you completely, so quickly and so good a vote?
It was a brilliant vote, but I have to say we worked for it.
Yeah.
We did.
The
We
soles of your
definitely
shoes
did.
would tell the story.
We're now applying for new shoes.
But it shows me a very disciplined program here.
That's okay. Right. Well, listen, it's so good to see you all, and there's a new family of Sinn Féin within Newry.
Well, I mean,
I was saying he's the wise old owl guiding the
more and
new
more
young.
people are joining Sinn Féin than ever before, right across the entire island of
You
Ireland.
see that happening?
Yep.
Statistically, that's demonstrable. Yes.
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah.
Well, we hope it all goes well for you, and your new life in politics, ladies. Wow, go for it. What are the Sinn
I've been
Féin?
here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in the newer age.
No, Newry.
Here you are as
We're Deferred.
a new group, and it's the group that's important.
That's
And
it.
the wider group that's called party, you would say to be of ultimate importance.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
And as they say, Charlie, bring it on.
Bring it on.
Okay. There you are. Good luck to you, and bless you. Take care. All the best. So, hey, come and talk to me, my old expert here. So, there's Mickey. Mickey, don't go away from us. Well done. You must be very pleased. Mickey Brady of Sinn Féin.
Very pleased, Rowan. Very, very
Now,
pleased.
talk to me about the elements that ensured these people would be elected so speedily and with such a decisive vote.
Because we're Sinn Féin, first and foremost, we have an extremely good team. We're a very tight-knit organisation in terms of Newry. We all get on well, we're pulling together, and as a result, we get 4,500 first preference votes, which is way ahead of anybody else.
It's a good day for Sinn Féin.
It's a great day. It's a great day for Sinn Féin. And this is only a start. We have 26 counties to conquer as well.
Conquer is the word.
Yeah, it has been a great showing for Sinn Féin in Newry, and obviously with Charlie topping the poll. But again, with Liz coming in at over 1,500 votes and Valerie in 1,300 votes, huge result for Sinn Féin.
Well, I think it reflects and it's indicative of the great candidates we have. And we have young candidates with a mixture of age and experience, and I have to include myself in the experience, not necessarily the age.
Well, you were working for community long before you worked for community within Sinn Féin, because your history is in social services, looking after the needs of people.
Yeah, well, you do your best.
I have to say, it came to a lot of people were hugely surprised when they wakened up one Monday morning to discover that Mickey Brady was joining Sinn Féin.
Well,
what moved you in that direction?
Well, I've always been a Republican, Rowan, always. And obviously, when you're in a particular type of job, you try and keep your politics with small p, but not necessarily politics with a big P. But I've always been a Republican. I'm a socialist. My aim is a 32-county socialist republic, and always has been.
And Mickey, I know, like we talked about football, and we're going to throw a wee bit of squash into the election campaign. Mickey was one of the best squash players that I ever seen in the town here. He bashed me up in the room upstairs there many a time.
But it's all relative. It depends who you're playing, Rowan.
It's like
the cleverness of politics. You stick to the football. You stay to the politics.
But it's like elections, and that's exactly what it's like, Mickey.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be very guarded in your comments. And you have to also be magnanimous to your opponents.
Magnanimity is good, but I don't think it can be said of you that you would always be guarded. You say it as it is, and whatever has to be said,
I think you have to, because I mean, life is reality, and you have to be real in these things. I mean, you're dealing with people. People want you to be real. They don't want, if you look at the implosion of some of the political parties, they did a bit more honesty might have stood them better, Ultimately,
never putting people off with a good answer.
Exactly.
Leadership from the front, not being dragged along by a populist idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's a new area, it's a new geographic council.
It's a whole new dynamic, I think, and we have a new dynamic.
Strangford through to Cullevill.
And we have a new dynamic in our team, and we have, as I said, a very great and good mixture of young and older people, and that experiences are,
The greater area, what opportunity will that offer your sort of politics?
Well, I mean, from our point of view, obviously, as somebody who is Newry born and represents this area, obviously we would be looking to the super councils, as they're called, to ensure that Newry gets its fair share and is promoted
the way it always should have been, and unfortunately, historically, has never been.
Newry forever.
Newry for and Ballabot as well.
Not Ballabot, now. How could I not say that? Go well. God, all the best to you. Bye-bye. That's Mickey Brady bringing us to a close at this moment of celebration for Sinn Féin here at the Count Centre in the heart of Newry, here in the Sports Centre. Impressive.
Oh yeah, it was very, very impressive. But to be truthful, Rowan, Sinn Féin were quietly confident. They weren't saying too much earlier on, but they were quite confident that probably would have happened there, you know. So then they were asking themselves, could we run another candidate? Maybe, possibly, but the 3 candidates just sailed in over the line. So.
Well, as Declan McAteer was saying there, the ball is not yet over the wall for the SDLP because Gary Stokes is 938 votes.
Gary looks in a good position.
And he's in a good position because the quota is what? I have the quota down here. 1103.
Yeah.
So Stokes is almost there.
I would say.
Who else have you got there? You have
Highland, and I would say Highland will pick up some of.
But Peter McAvoy sitting there with 664. If it, who knows? Maybe, but certainly Stokes. And Highland is looking very good indeed as an independent.
Yeah, well, I think Highland will get in all right. There's no question about it. And he'll probably pick up surplus from Sinn Féin. And then when you look down into the SDLP, the question again you'd be asking, should the SDLP have ran 4 candidates in Newry? 3 maybe, but 4 I think it's a push.
Well, they've done it in Crotleave as well. They've run 4 in Crotleave. Again, that's a question because we were talking earlier to Conor McGreevy, one of the most youthful and enthusiastic of candidates. He feels up against it at the moment, and maybe they should have only run 3 there.
Yeah, well, funny enough, I was getting that feeling from him, but I would say he's probably just hedging a wee bit. I would say Conor will probably get in all right, but Ron, the way this goes, you don't know. We're still waiting on the Slieve Gullion one. So
absolutely.
When I look down through the Newry one, Sinn Féin was always going to do well in that. Obviously, Charlie Casey topping the poll, and Liz Kimmins coming in with 1,567 votes. Valerie Hart 1,300, and then going right down Gary Stokes. That's a great showing for Gary Stokes. I was talking to him last week, and he says I'll give it one last shot, and Gary would be a good councillor. So it's looking good for Gary.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Damien. So from Damien and myself, Rowan Hand, we bid you farewell for the moment, and we'll be back to you to keep you right up to date on the count in election 2014 here at the Sports Centre in Newry.
This is a result of the second stage of the transfer of surplus votes of Morrison. A total of 111,111 papers transferred. There were 9 non-transferable papers, resulting in 102,102 transferable papers at a value of 1. The remaining candidates received the following votes. Byrne Audrey, 7, at a value of 1 is 7. The total vote at the end of stage 2 is 5-1. Clark Patrick, 48, the value at 1, 48. The total vote at the end of stage 2 is 738, 738. Craig Gareth, the number of papers transferred, 7. The value at 1 is 7. The new total vote at the end of stage 2 is 1,028, 1028. King Shane, 7, at a value of 1 is 7. The new total vote at the end of stage 2 is 425, 425. Lewis Allen, 6, at a value of 1 is 6. The new total vote at the end of stage 2 is 413. Munyan Mark, 10, at a value of 1 is 10. The new total at the end of stage 2 is 794, 794. O'Grimmon 8, at the value of 1 is 8. The new total vote at the end of stage 2 is 948, 948. And finally, Patterson Desmond, total number of papers transferred is 9, and the value of 1 is 9. The new total vote at the end of stage 2 is 727, 727. As a result, there were no further elections or Thank you. Good afternoon. This is a result at the conclusion of Stage 7 of Stage Volume for the distribution of Jeremy Donnelly's service, which were at a volume of 0.08. The transfers were as follows. Dara Hughes, 135 payments, 135, at a value of 10.8, which gives a new total of 1,294.48 votes. 1,294.48. Kate Lochran, 1,212 papers at a value of 96.96, 96.96, which gives her a new total of 1,345.61. At the conclusion of the stage, we would recommend the following. Dara Hughes has 1,294.48, 1,294.48. If we transfer the service of Larkin, which is 16, this would leave candidate Larkin with 1,000, if we were to get all the votes, 1,310.48, 1,310.48, which remains below candidate Larkin. We would recommend the exclusion of Hughes and leave Kate Lochran elected without the reaching the vote.
That's Kate Lochran, SDLP. They've got the seat, Damien, they've got it.
Yeah, well, we said all along, Rowan, that would be the case, and we anticipated it because, you know, when Sinn Féin look back at this, they would say to themselves, you know, we should have had 5 Sinn Féin. So here we go, the official announcement.
Here it is. So it's 2 SDLP and 3 Sinn Féin.
4 Sinn Féin.
4 Sinn Féin, my counting is wrong there.
1 Taylor.
And
you know.
Taylor is down
we,
there.
we did say that it was very, very close, Ron, and obviously Donnelly's surplus votes took Kate Lochran across the line, you know, and it went to the very, very end. You know, it's a tough one. I would say Sinn Féin will go back and look at that, and they will be looking at, you know, Terry Hardy polled 2,100 votes, and even if 100 of them had have went to Hughes, you know, as full votes, then that would have brought Hughes over the line. So whatever happened in the Cross-McGlen area, I would say Sinn Féin probably wouldn't be happy with their vote management
but
there.
in broad terms, it reflects the nature of the area. You know, if you have 2 SDLP, 4 Sinn Féin, that's.
Well, you know, if you look at the first preference votes, you would say that may not be true. But you know, the SDLP, they knew there was going to be a dogfight for the last seat. Kate Lochran is a very able person. She's a great GA woman, and she's new to this, you know. And I sort of thought that if she was hanging in there at the end, that she would possibly win it. So. So, you know, it's a great victory for Kate. She's new, and she's a great community activist. She's done great work with Caircroppin over the years, and she's well known, a huge family connection in Camla and Whitecross. And Kate will get her teeth into this. And if anybody knows Kate, she's a great worker.
You know her well. You'll try and get her over for us now.
I'll get Kate in a minute. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. The man who knows about these things, great pundit, a great commentator from the area. Damien himself, Damien McCullough. And just to remind you there that Kate Lochran has secured the seat for the SDLP, the second seat for the SDLP. Elected is Geraldine Donnelly, SDLP. Terry Harty of Sinn Féin, elected. Mickey Larkin of Sinn Féin, elected. Now Kate Lochran of the SDLP, elected. And then we're hearing from the podium. Eddie Curtis. Yes, we can hear you, Eddie. Okay, the organisational management of the situation, ongoing, the candidates for Newry being called by the Assistant Deputy Returning Officer up for a conference, a short conference there, and they're about their business and they're finding that out. But nothing can take away from the excitement that was Slieve Gullion with the down to the wire, right to the wire fight between the Sinn Féin and the SDLP. And SDLP coming out of that victorious, and we're hoping very, very shortly to speak with that victorious candidate, Kate Loughran. She secured the vote, she secured the seat with a vote of 1345.61. That is a substantial bit of work. Hello, how are you? People coming, people happy with the way things are going. You see here as we stream on Destination Newry to the world. It's never happened before in the history of politics in this area that we have a new council area all the way from Strangford Lough through to South Armagh, Cullaville there on the border of Armagh and Monaghan. We have it there. The joy of a new council area and the opportunities that a new council area brings with it. Damien coming back to me. What news from the Rialto, Damien?
Well, Kate is she's flabbergasted, she's shocked, she's amazed, she's elated, and she's shattered. And I says, will you come? She says, Damien, I'm not even fit to stand. So wow. she's aware to set herself down. Maybe we'll get her in a couple of minutes. But she's
going to have to learn that politics is about communicating.
Well, that's what I said, and she just looked at me and says, I need to sit down. You know. So she's a good girl, you know, and it's a huge thing for her because this is her first forte into politics, right? So she'll be cutting her teeth.
What freshness do you think she brought to it to allow her the success?
You know, local elections, local personalities, and Kate would have got a good personal vote in and around Camla and Whitecross.
You see, if people think about South Armagh, people think about Slieve Gullion, they think automatically of Sinn Féin.
Aye, but you know, the SDLP do have a quota in their own, you know, and when you look back at the figures there, you know, you just cannot gauge how somebody's going to vote. You go into the polling station and people they'll put X's against names and they'll do all sorts of things. So who knows? It has been a great result for Kate. I know last night they were confident and then they weren't confident and then they were, and we've seen what went on here, the reaction of the body language from both camps. You know, the Sinn Féin was up at one stage and then the SDLP were up and then they were down and they were up. But when we looked at it and we looked through it, and I did call it earlier on that I thought that Hughes didn't get enough first preference votes, and when you look at Hardy's votes, and I think Sinn Féin will probably be looking at that and saying that if Hardy he ramped home, even if 100 of his votes had went to Hughes, then it would have been a different ball game. But look, hey, you know, that's for another day.
Disappointment for Sinn Féin in this one, but elation in Newry, they've done so well.
Yeah, look, you know, it's for any candidate that goes to the 7th count and gets put out right at the end, it's very hard. But you know, there was a lovely picture of there. Kate went over to Derek Hughes, and they hugged each other. So it was a great, you know, it was a great thing to see, and not a camera there to pick it up, you know. But it did happen, you know.
Sometimes the best things occur outside the camera.
Yeah,
you know, that can be it.
It was a fight to the end there.
There's a man. Sorry, yes, go ahead. Go ahead. A fight to the end. We anticipated that. You know. Now there's a man there who's going to pass by us any moment.
Gary Stokes.
Gary Stokes. Maybe Gary would come to us because he's the SDLP fellow. We have again the returning officer.
The proper quota is 1260.
1260. Gary, may we talk to you, please? Come around here. Destination Newry. Just turn around to the camera, please. Here we are. You're very welcome.
Thanks,
Gary
Rowan.
Stokes from the SDLP, returning to politics after an absence of a while. And many people were greatly saddened at the politics loss when you went. But you're now actually well positioned because in the Newry situation you have polled 938 and the quota is about, what is the quota? 1260. It's gone up there, you've just got that. You're here with a good chance.
Yeah, I'm here with a good chance, Rowan, and I did go around with the message. I missed out by 23 votes the last time, and I did say to people on the door, you know, I let them know that, and I told them, you know, your vote does count when you know. So, but having said that, we'll not know to the final result because I lost in transfers last time. So I'm looking okay, but
Yeah.
you know,
Where would you hope your transfers will come from today?
Well, Sinn Féin have obviously got their 3 people elected in the first count, so where number 4s would normally not count, actually number 4s are going to be worth something today because you have 3 surpluses there, and we'll hopefully get some transfers from the Ulster Unionist candidate as well.
You're one of the younger politicians among us at the moment.
Yes.
You have good feeling for the new council, good feeling for new opportunities.
Yeah, well, I do, Rowan, but I think it's going to be a real challenge now to make sure Newry doesn't lose out, because Newry could assume its position as the centre of everything in Newry and Mourne. But out of the bigger council, Newry's going to have to stand up and make its case, for jobs coming to the area and all the rest. So, and you're a Newry man yourself. There's a lot needs done. Yeah. The whole Albert Basin site sitting there, the North Street Flats site sitting there. A lot of things have been left. Newry is in the poor relation. It is a city in Northern Ireland, but it's been the poor relation to Belfast and Derry for a long time now. So it's up to the 6 people get elected in Newry now to go out and fight for Newry.
Gary, when would you expect the Newry pigeon to come home to roost?
On the result?
Yes.
It's going to be a lot. Surpluses take a long time to count because you have to count the vote all again.
It'll be here until tea time.
I would say it'll be a long day.
Okay.
So my sister's having a birthday party for her 2-year-old, so we'll be late. We'll late arrivals at the party, I'm afraid.
With good news,
yes. Rowan,
good luck.
Thank you very much.
Go well.
Thank you, Rowan. Thanks.
A good man of politics, a courageous man too, because he speaks his mind, and in his term of politics last time round, several threats against him by foolish people that came to nothing, and he was strong enough to deal with all of that at that time. You're with us at the count here in the election 2014 at the Sports Centre in Newry. Destination Newry going out, first time in the history of broadcasting from this part of the world, first time in the history of politics from this part of the world, going out from Destination Newry live on the internet right across the planet. Back with you shortly. Thank you. I'm extraordinarily well. You must be tired. Oh, we have another announcement. Stay with me. You take this, Damien. Damien.
The votes polled was 9,937,9937. Invalid votes was 148, leaving total valid votes of 9789. The percentage polled was 54.36%, and the electoral quota approximately is 1,399,1399. Here is the results. Carr Michael, SDLP, 1,050 votes, 1,000. Sinead Dennis, Sinn Féin, 1,328.
Jim Well is finding that very hard to take.
We're doing very well.
Gillian Fitzpatrick, SDLP, 1,097, 1,097. Mark Gibbons, Sinn Féin, 858, 858. Then Barnum, Independent, 258, 258. Jacqueline McCullough, SDLP, 1389, that's 1,309. 226,226. Conor McGreevy, SDLP, 757, 757. William Mitchell, UUP, 933, 933. Mickey Rowan, Sinn Féin, 1,195. That's 1,195. And finally, Jarlath Finlay, Independent, 747,40. At the conclusion of stage 1, none of the candidates have met the quota. Therefore, we're going to move to stage 2, which is the exclusion of McCullough and Lamb. Thank you very much.
It's Roisin, it's these stages that you must come through before you finally can let out the roar of success.
Well, this is it. I mean, it has been a very long day for Sinn Féin, you know, but we are a team and we stay until the very end to support everybody. But it's still a hive of activity here, as you can hear.
Well, you were here very late last night. It was in the early hours of this morning before your result came through. By the way, we're with Roisin Mulgrew of Sinn Féin, elected at 1 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, just after 1 o'clock this morning. Well, we all sort of knew mid-afternoon where we stood, so the situation we found ourselves in Slieve Gullion, coming into the election, we had 4.8 quotas, so we ran 5 candidates, so we knew it was going to come down to second and third preferences. That was a strategy that we had deployed. We knew what the situation was, so we went automatically, we're going to have to go into second and third transfers, which of course take time. So yeah, the 4 of us got announced as new candidates, new councillors last night, and then we were just waiting on our 5th candidate, Dara Hughes,
move this way, a wee bit over on.
you know, to be the final coats for Dara this morning.
That was a disappointment.
It was a disappointment, and you know, as I say, even though Sinn Féin and Slieve Gullion, we've actually increased our vote, but Dara at the end of it was beaten by 35 votes. A tiny, you know, and it's very difficult when it comes that close. But
it's nice to see the pair of them hug at the end.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Good rapport
and we'll tell you, you know, we all knew yesterday what our vote is. Sinn Féin's here in force to support Dara because we're a team.
Team indeed.
We're a team.
We're a team here in Destination Newry. You've been sent out all across the planet. It's a first. It's ever happened in all of the electoral business of Newry.
Yeah.
That's pretty joyful for Newry as well.
Very good. Well, that's good to hear. As I say, teamwork pays off, but it has been a long campaign and it has been a long few days. But as you can hear, the results that are coming through, all of the new Sinn Féin candidates are doing exceptionally well. And it's very difficult. Don't ever underestimate how difficult that is for a new candidate, because you're going against people that have served 2, 3, 4 terms in a council. They're very familiar with the working of it. You're putting newbies in there that maybe aren't known in an area, but you're listening to the results coming out here today, and every member of Sinn Féin has the right to be proud of themselves, you know, so that was good. Well, we've a long fight ahead of us, you know, and plenty of campaigns to run, but thanks, Gurmil Maggot.
All the best to you. Bye-bye. There you are, that's Roisin Mulgrew, Sinn Féin, elected at shortly after 1 o'clock this morning. The business of counting continues here. We're still here and we'll be here to the end, bringing you up to date on all that's happening at the count in election 2014 here in the heart of Newry.
This is the decision or recommendation regarding the Newry ward and the transfer of the surplus votes of candidate Casey. Candidate Casey's surplus was 433. The transfer value of them was 0.5. At the completion and the review of the surplus, the following revised votes are as follows. Duffy Jacinta received 218 papers at a value of 0.5, giving her a total of 109. Therefore, the revised new total for Duffy Jacinta is 664. Highland Davy received 314 papers at a value of 0.5, with a new total of 157, and Davy's revised total is 1202. Laurie Joshua received 6 at a value of 0.5, giving 3 additional votes, and the revised total is 387. Malone James received 14 at a value of 0.5 and a new total of 7. Added to the original total is a new total of 48. McIntyre Kevin received 171 papers at 0.5, equaling 86.5, and the revised total for McCullough Kevin is 715.5. Stokes Gary received 85 new papers at a value of 0.5, giving a total of 42.5. Added to the original total is now 98.5. The recommendation to you is there is two continuing services, which is Kimmins and Hart, and since nobody has been excluded at this stage, the recommendation is to go to the transfer of the surplus vote of Kimmins of 307. Thank you. Transfers are as follows. Gordon, transfer papers 199 at a value of 23.88. The new revised total at the end of stage 3 is 544.88. Clark, papers transferred 92, value 11.04 and 11.04. Total new vote at the end of stage 3 is 749.04, 749.04. Craig, no transfer papers. King, 114 transfer papers, 114, at a value of 13.6, 13.68. Revised total at the end of stage 3, 438.68. Lewis, paper transfer 2, total value 0.24, that's 0.24. Revised total at the end of stage 3, 413.24, 415.24. Warren had no transfer papers. Ribbon had 778 transfer papers, and a total of 94.44, that's 94.44. New total at the end of stage 3 is 1042.44, 1042.44. Congressman had 55 papers transferred at a value of 0.12, total with is 6.6. Revised total at the end of stage 3 is 783.6, 783.6. Stage 3, there has been no further candidates being elected. There is no further service to transfer, so I now confirm that Lewis and those candidates excluded, and we will proceed to stage 4. That is my presentation. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. This is the result of the second stage of the Crockley count and the distribution of votes following the exclusion of McCullough and Rowan. All votes were transferred at a value of 1, and the results are as follows. Carr received 60 papers at a value of 60. Revised vote 1068, 1068. Ennis received 5 papers at a value of 5, with a new total of 1333. Fitzpatrick received 12 papers at a value of 12, revised total 1109, 1109. Gibbons received 9 papers at a value of 9 votes, with a new total of 867. McAteer received 14 papers at a value of 14. The revised total is 1,403, 1,000, that's 1403. McGreevy received 14 papers at a value of 14. The revised total is 771. Mitchell received 203 papers at a value of 203, giving a revised total of 1,136, 1136. Rowan received 37 papers at a value of 37, revised total 1232, 1232. Tinley received 116 papers at a value of 116, revised total 856. I therefore deem Declan McAteer elected. The recommendation to move to stage 3 crop leave is to exclude McGreevy as the lowest candidate. The rationale being the remaining surplus is 4 from McAteer. If McGreevy was to receive all 4 votes from McAteer, he still will remain the lowest candidate and cannot go above the next lowest candidate, Tinley. Therefore, we're recommending we go to stage 3 with the exclusion of McGreevy. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome back to our coverage of the local election down here in Newry, where we have had the second count for Leave and the exclusion of Lamb and McCullough, and the second count is as follows: Michael Carr, SDLP 1068, Sinead Ennis, total Sinn Féin 1333, Gillian Fitzpatrick, SDLP 1109, Mark Gibbons, Sinn Féin, total 867, Declan McAteer, total 1403. Declan has reached his quota, so he is deemed as elected. So congratulations to Declan, the first councillor to be officially elected in the Leave area. Thomas McGreevy, SDLP, he picked up 771. Mitchell, Ulster Unionist Party, 1,136. Mickey Rowan, Sinn Féin, his total is 1232. And Jarlath Tinley, Independent, is now 856. That concluded the second count in the Leave area. And as McGreevy is the next lowest, and his votes can't, coming from McAteer, his access can't surpass the next lowest. So it now means that Conor McGreevy is now excluded, and his votes will be distributed in that area. So we wait for that to happen, and within the next 5 minutes we should have the third count from Newry. Now, there was an issue earlier on about the preference or the quota in Newry, and it increased. We did say earlier that Sinn Féin had the chance for 4, but looking at the revised figures, it was probably the right thing for Sinn Féin to go with the three candidates in Newry. But PR is a wonderful it's a wonderful way, particularly when you get right down the lines. As we've seen earlier on today, Kate Loughlin and Darry Hughes had a huge battle in the last seat in the Slieve Gullion area, and Kate Loughlin from the SDLP, her first forte into local politics, and Kate came out, so congratulations to Kate Loughlin. So we now await
the next election or the next count from Newry, and we wait on the presiding officer. It's going to happen in the next couple of minutes. So we'll bring that to you presently. And you're very welcome back to our live broadcast. Declan, we're doing this live in Newry. It's the first time it has ever happened, and it's creating a bit of a stir on social media all around the world.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Well, we're delighted to see you're covering this event, and it is an event.
Oh, well, there's no doubt. And listen, congratulations. Yeah. You've just been elected there. Your total in the second count was 1,403 votes, and the total was required was 1,399. That was the highest in the whole. I think the whole of all of them here in Newry.
Well, that's right. It was the highest. I've up the poll in the Crowdleave area, and we'd run a strategy to run 4 candidates, hoping to get 4 in. That it doesn't look like it's going to work out properly, but I was delighted to just come in right on quota, and that was at the end of the day good vote management. And I'm delighted that I've done that, and I've topped the poll for the SDLP. We only, as I say, our opposition Sinn Féin ran 3, but I'm delighted that us run 4. I was still able to top the poll, so SDLP is still very strong with the Crowdleave area.
There's no doubt about it, Declan. And when I look around and I see, all the people standing and all the different parties, it's who'd want to be a politician?
Well, it's actually good. It's good fun. We wouldn't believe it, Damien. And the good thing about it is, after this is over, all parties, we all work awful well together, I must say. And I must say I look forward to sharing the new council with all sorts of parties and everybody, because we all do work together for the benefit of the people. As I always keep saying, this should be about cooperation, not confrontation. That's what local politics is about, serving local people on the ground. You do a lot in sport, you cover a lot of sport. I'm very much into sport, and one of the biggest things we're involved in at the council level is providing sporting facilities, and that's the biggest shout we always get. So that'll continue, and it's a love of all our lives, and it's a very much part of all our community. So we'll be pushing all that and very local community work.
No, there is no doubt, and of course, local politics. I mean, that's what this is about here.
Oh, it is.
And look, what do I tell you? You've done well. You've topped the poll. You've got elected. The next question I'm going to ask you: who's going to win the match tonight?
Oh, that's a great one. I'm glad this count's over. I'll go home and print my tickets off. I think Down will do it, because at the Marshes, I think we've advantage all season. At the end of the day, a home advantage, and I've every confidence that we'll do it. And come on, we James, the lads.
Well, congratulations, Declan. Well done. So that's of course a vote for Down tonight.
From an Armagh man. To an Armagh man. Yes, absolutely. A big thumbs up for Down tonight. And I'll be there. 2 red eyes in me off this election. But I hope I'm as hoarse as last Sunday. I hope we get a good finish. And I think we will over the line.
There's no doubt, and you're happy enough. So congratulations, Declan McAteer, the first councillor to be elected in the Crowdleave area. Well done, and so we'll talk to you again.
Okay, Damien. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks a million, Declan. Yes. So there we have it, the first councillor to be elected in the Crowdleave area, Declan McAteer, and he did say his vote management was on the button, and it was, because he came in, he was sitting with 1,389 in the first count. Second count, he got 1,403, so 4 over what was required, which was the quota of 1,399. So that's one good thing about proportional representation. It's an amazing, fascinating concept, and it works here locally. So well done to Declan. Now we await the third count from Newry City, and we'll bring that to you very, very shortly.